What's up, YouTube? Just picked up a new pair of bindings, which is kind of a big deal for me. I've been rocking these for a while now. This is my second pair of system boots. I had some of the JD Webb boots from like, I think 2017 first, and then I don't remember what year Murray's these are. I think they're like 2 years ago. So I know I've got about 2 seasons on them. Maybe they were 3 seasons ago and I got them on closeout, but like, I really like the system setup that Hyperlite does, and these things have really done me well. Like, I mean, you know, there's definitely some abrasions and some wear on them, but there's probably still a little bit of life left in these. They've definitely gotten a little softer, and I always rock these on the low backs. Kind of a softer, more flexy setup, but you know, I really liked how easy it was to get in and out of the bindings with the systems. Let's see if I can get this strap at this angle. When you're done, if you fall, it's just easy to get out. Really like that a lot. But the downside to these is they don't make this boot anymore, and I really like this boot. I like my JD Webbs too, but these were on another level. The JD Webbs fit a little funky. I was able to customize the footbed to make them work, versus these things are just great. But yeah, they don't make the Murray anymore. I tried on the JB O'Neill boot that just got released because I was thinking that'd be my next boot, because I know he used to rock the Murrays a lot, and unfortunately it just didn't fit my foot. May have been the pair that I tried on. I tried the same size as this, which was a 9. I'm usually like a 9.5 in most shoes, like Vans and Nikes, stuff like that. The JD Webb boot was like really narrow, and it was like pinching me up around the arch and like the point here on my foot, where these fit great. So this video is about is my initial impressions of a new boot. So for this season, I thought I would give the Space Mobs a try. See how they go. I mean, I don't know. I might like them. I might want to go back to systems and just try to find another pair of old Murray boots or something. I haven't tried all the system boots, all the new ones. I think there's like a distortion or distort or something that looks like it might be good, but I do like Slingshot a lot. As you can see, I have last year's Native, which I've been riding. I've had a few other Slingshot boards before that, and I really like their boards a lot. And I actually did ride a pair of Rads way back in the day. It was actually on my first cable setup. It was some Rads, I think like 2013s or something, on a Shred Town from the same year. And those had a removable liner. So the Rad hasn't had a removable liner in a long time. But you know, the Shred Towns did, and then now the Space Mob is kind of their walkable liner boot for the men. Initial impressions on the Space Mob. So I just opened these up. I was playing around with the right boot because I feel like my right foot is a little bit bigger than my left. So I always like to try on right first. And you know, overall I'm kind of digging them. Like, it's a different feel than the systems for sure, but more of like, it feels more like a wakeboard binding, where the systems, it's like kind of a loose snowboard binding feeling, but definitely looser than like snowboard bindings. But anywho, I tried them on my feet, and you know, I'll throw them on again right quick here. So I don't know if you could see this, but on the inside of this liner, there's some like pretty legitimate J bars. And you know, my first impression putting it on my foot, so I'll pop these off and just get them on there so I can feel it out again, is those J bars. Like, they really grip around your ankle nice. I was kind of surprised opening up the Space Mobs that they don't have a cinch on the inner liner, but you know, those cinches do wear out, so the lace might be the way to go. I could almost go for like a slightly thicker lace, but you know, with a double knot, that thing's gonna be good. I will say on the system boots, I always rocked a pair of like thin socks on the inside, non-cotton socks, stuff that would kind of wick the moisture. I mean, they get drenched, obviously. I don't know if I'm gonna do that on the Space Mobs. I might. I guess I'll have to just give it a try, which unfortunately the cable season hasn't started out here, but definitely want to get down to Amandi Wake Zone and Fruta here in April. They're opening up in a couple weeks. Thinking back to like the Rad that I had, I remember being frustrated with this. So like there's these pads on the bottom and they kind of fit in these holes. And I will say, like, first impressions, and you know, I was already playing around with the tongue here. Throw that tongue back in real fast. first impressions getting in here is it's better than it used to be. Like, I remember putting on the rads back in the day, and one of the reasons I went to systems is I got annoyed with the rads because they would like catch a lot. And these are catching a little right now, but obviously they're not on the board. But I feel like when these are on the board, they're gonna go great. Throwing those on, I'm already in there. Just double check the tongue, make sure that's tucked in correctly. Throw on these gummy straps. And I've never actually owned a gummy strap binding before. I tried on the Ronix, can't think of the model name, it's their walkable liner with the gummy straps. And I didn't really like how that boot fit. I tried it on last season just for fun when I was shopping around. But these gummy straps, even though I'm struggling a little right there, definitely feel more flexible. Got the boot on there, so a little more work than the systems for sure, but I'm not used to it yet. I think I'll get used to it as time goes on. And then getting out of there, you know, I'll do that in a sec. But, you know, first impressions on my feet compared to the systems is, feels more like a wakeboard binding, like what I'm used to. I ride Ronix 1s or RXTs on the boat. And I do notice sometimes riding cable that the feel of like the systems, it feels a little loose. Like I've ridden them on the boat before and I did not like the system on the boat for me. Like, I think you see that in the Hyperlite team. I think most of those guys, when they're riding boat, they're riding normal bindings. I know like JB O'Neill definitely is riding, I think he rides like the team binding or something, but even though he has a pro model system boot. So yeah, all in all, like, so yeah, 9.5 in most shoes for me. This is the 9 in the Space Mob. Definitely the right size, would not want to be in a 10. Really liking the J bars. I think it'll be interesting getting them mounted on the board, which I'm not going to do in today's video, because I'm used to on the Hyperlites, it's got like the angle of the bindings, you know, it's similar to snowboarding, where there's like numbers on the side of that. Let's see if you can see that. So yeah, they center to 0, and then there's like, I think these are centimeters maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. away from 0. So you could definitely use the same numbers on both sides, but I don't know what kind of angles that ends up at, so something I'm gonna have to look into. But yeah, as far as looks, like, this thing looks pretty sick. It's definitely a little chunkier looking than what I'm used to with the system boot, but I mean, it's a binding and a boot versus this is just a boot. Sounding Canadian there. Anywho, yeah, you know, I could have tried these on and been like, they suck, return them before I really plunged in, but I'm in. Like, definitely gonna give these a try. I'll do a video in the summer or the spring here when I actually get out and ride. I kind of want to like take these for a few laps and then swap out and try the system setup of old. You know, obviously the system stuff's gonna be a little looser because it's an older boot, low back binding. I don't think anything really rides like that other than that. But I don't necessarily love that. Like, I've had times, especially like hooking a rear edge, where my boot has actually flexed backwards over the heel cup. But if you rock like the I don't know, the other system binding that actually has high backs, that would probably fix for that. But initial impressions, like, excited to check out this boot. Oh yeah, and I'll also call out, I was playing around with yeah, getting them off's pretty easy. Just get that out, pop that up. If you're out in the lake, obviously you're not gonna take off the liner. I was playing around with the tongue, and I think I'm gonna start them without the tongue, just because I think these are gonna feel a lot stiffer than what I'm used to, and this would reduce the stiffness a little bit. And I was also thinking, if it kind of flexes out over time, I could always add the tongue back in, but I might do a little video just about maybe take some laps with the tongue and some without it. But I do think that's really cool with these bindings, that you can pull this off or put it back on. And then just figuring out the tightness too. Like, you know, my first instinct is just to crank all these. Like, I wonder how these things stretch out over time. I know you could buy replacements or other colors, but yeah. And then the mounting system, I haven't used these before, but like I was saying, it'll be interesting trying to figure out what the angles are. That'll take some trial and error, but shouldn't be too bad. I mean, once it's on there, it's on there. But yeah, that's my initial impressions of the Space Mob boots, and just thinking about how they might compare to what I'm used to, which is the Hyperlite System bindings with the Murray boots and the low back bindings. If you've ridden the Space Mobs or the systems, and maybe you've gone back and forth, not sure what you want to get, and you're looking for advice, like, you know, leave a comment down below. Definitely would love to hear your ideas. I've also posted about this on the Reddit, the Wake subreddit, and a couple people actually said they did go to the Space Mob from the systems, which is a good sign in my mind. I know this is like probably one of the most popular cable-oriented bindings out there, but the systems are really popular too. Have a good one. Hopefully you get out and ride soon. Definitely stoked to have the season coming back here. Peace.